Okay, tell me if you can hear me now. I still have this weird delay. I do not know what's going on. Oh, thank goodness. What the what? Is Mars in retrograde? Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, starting this live all over like take two. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up Wednesday Live with Laurie Majka. I am the host of the Laurie Majka YouTube show where I interview people who have had near death experiences, spiritually transformative experiences, are channelers, have had after death communication, mediums, all those good things. And this live is about you. Since we had issues with the beginning, not recording. Yeah, I will keep checking the comments, but everybody can hear me. It sounds better now. I don't know what happened. There's still a weird delay on here, but it's okay. I'll just keep checking back with you guys. But this show, this time is about you. This is a time for you to ask me any question that you have. You can ask me questions about spiritual topics. You are welcome to ask me about past guests. You can recommend future guests. You can ask me personal questions. You can share experiences that you've had. This time is for you, about you. And while I'm waiting for the comments to get warmed up and for you guys to start asking questions, I'm going to start the way I always do with my signs and synchronicities. I don't know what you heard, what you did not hear, but I had a really cool synchronicity happen on Monday. I was going to a movie and my passed away loved one, Mark Abrahamian, who was the lead guitarist of the band Starship, died in 2012. And he loves to communicate with me through music, and especially his Starship songs that I saw him play many times in concert. But he doesn't just send me a song, which is great when I hear one, especially if I'm in a store or someplace out and about where it's not my music playing. But he loves to combine different things, different modalities to make sure that I understand I'm really getting a message from him. So on Monday, I was driving and let's see. Okay. I was driving and I was listening to XM radio 80s on 8 and the Starship song Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now started playing. And at that moment, I drove up to a red light, and the truck in front of me had a license plate that said a letter before, and then it said XO and a number afterwards. So I feel like Mark was sending me a kiss and a hug from the other side while his song was playing. So that's how those signs and synchronicities feel for me. And the really cool part about it is after the movie, I had taken a video of the song playing and the license plate, but because I was driving, the license plate was not clear for the people I sent the video to. So my sister, if you know my sister, she participates in the live. She's the one who reaches out and gets my guests for me. She had her own near-death experience, but her name is Stephanie. She texted me during the movie and said, hey, I heard the song, but what did the license plate say? So I had to tell her. And as I was answering her back, a second Starship song came on of the night, like hours apart, because I had already gone to the movie and was driving home. So Mark really does do a good job of letting me know that he is around. And it just makes me so happy to get these signs and synchronicities. If you guys have signs and synchronicities you would love to share, I would love to hear them. The second synchronicity that I had this week was I have a really good friend who I went to Egypt with, and we talk about spiritual things all the time. And we were having a conversation about some of these really extraordinary guests that I have had coming on the show lately, interviews that I haven't released to you guys yet. I let my friend Allie listen to them in advance, and we were discussing two of them that she had just listened to. And I was explaining how I feel like everything is coming full circle right now with these guests, with the show, with the evolution of what's happening with the awakening. And later on that day, I needed to run one errand to the grocery store. And as I was driving, and I want you to think about like the timing for me of seeing a license plate, it's what makes a license plate specific. And it's not like I'm just driving around looking for all the cars to see what license plates are around me. That's not how it works. I'm usually not paying any attention to a license plate, and my attention will be drawn, just like if you've listened to some of these interviews where my phone is recording a timer as I'm doing these interviews, and all of a sudden my mind goes to the phone and I see 1 hour, 11 minutes, 11 seconds, and I tell the guest about it. That's how the license plates work for me. So I left to go to the grocery store, and the car that I caught up to that was in front of me had a license plate that said FULCIR. To me, that is full circle. That's SIR stands for circle to me. I was pretty shocked by it, but again, this is how the other side works for me. They send me these confirmations, and I feel like the message was, yes, you're exactly right on the right track. Okay, to share the last synchronicity of the week, I have to tell a bigger story about a guest that I would love to have on in the future, an NDE experiencer who I have not yet interviewed. So, a couple of weeks ago, my comments started blowing up with people requesting a guest named Jonathan Ashford. You guys, if you have not listened to Jonathan Ashford's NDE, it's pretty extraordinary. He actually was told that his life was done and he was going to stay on the other side. And then they gave him a choice and asked him if he wanted to come back, but told him his life would not be the same. And he came back a completely different person. He was debaucherous, his words, in how he lived his life. And he came back and has sold everything and has a completely different life, does everything for free. It's pretty incredible. And I've been listening to his NDEs. If you haven't heard him yet, I have not interviewed him on my channel. He has acknowledged me and said he will come on my show in the fall. He's too busy right now with his scheduled engagements. But if you watch my friend Heather Tesch's show, she did a 2-part interview, which both parts are out. Part 1 is his NDE, and part 2 is where she asked him questions. It's really great. But anyway, I've been a little bit obsessed with Jonathan because what he describes and what he talks about is very, very much like what I have experienced on my experiences with my 5-MeO DMT on the other side of what I've come to understand. The reality is, I talk a lot about this is a game, and the purpose of the game, the larger purpose is to wake up. And then the other purpose is to show up in love and to experience love, because on the other side, we are love. And these are the tenets he's talking about. And if you go to his website, jonathanashford.com, you can sign up for his email list. And if you do that, he will send you links to join his free Zoom calls where he spends 3 to 5 hours answering every question that people want to ask him in the comments. He was on Sunday as I was participating in the first 2 or 3 hours of this Zoom call. I asked him a couple of questions. He answered both of them, and he spoke to lots of different topics, but he was getting frustrated because I think for him now, he's doing this week over week over week, and the same questions keep coming up, and he was getting a little bit frustrated at some of the answers he had to repeat again and again. So he started writing these blog posts to answer some of these bigger questions. But in any case, one of the things that he addressed was manifestation. And if you've been on my show, you may have heard me talk a couple of times about manifestation. And manifestation is a little tricky for me. And I explain this with the lottery example, which is that manifestation is a combination of many things. So The Secret taught you back, when that came out, what you think about, you bring about. So their recommendation was that let's say that you're doing a 2-mile walk. You would just think the whole time about this thing that you wanted, and you would see it as if it happened. But I think that The Secret got a couple of things wrong. I think that there are 2 more parts that are really important to manifestation. One of them is, as you are asking for whatever you want to have, and it doesn't have to be like a material thing, it could be an experience that you want or something that you're trying to achieve, maybe in a professional life, with your kids, with a spouse, with friends, with family, with relationships, with what you're trying to do with your life's purpose. Like there's lots of things we can manifest, right? So in addition to seeing it and believing that it's yours, you have to let it go. You can't just be like the kid tugging on the mom's dress saying, "Can I have a cookie? Can I have a cookie? Can I have a cookie?" You have to believe that the cookie is already yours. It's already in your possession. And that's the letting go part. And I think that that's a really hard thing for people. But the other part is that I believe that you have to have it in a vibrational state that doesn't have any fear, that doesn't have any lack, that doesn't have anything that we would think of as like a vibration of not having it, of wanting it, or maybe even doubting. It has to be like this high vibration of just acceptance and feeling how you would feel as if you already had what you're trying to achieve. But the caveat, this is the lottery ticket caveat, is that if you spent, let's say, an entire week with this process and you're like, I'm going to win the lottery. And let's say that you really and truly believed it. Like you didn't have that doubt. I know a lot of times when we're trying to manifest, we have doubt around certain things. What if it's that if winning the lottery would actually cause you to not achieve this list of things, that these experiences that you've come here to experience? Doesn't matter how much you try to manifest, how positively you're thinking about it, how much you see it as if it happened. It will never happen for you if it's going to take you out of your experiences that your higher self planned for you. So that's the caveat with manifestation. Jonathan's take was a little bit different. The way that he understood it from his experience is that everything in the world is already planned. And I've heard other people talk about this. So if we think about things as if it's all planned, we are actors just stepping in, plopping into a role, and we're just acting out everything. And he said it was so specific that it meant if the bird flapped its wings 4 times, that was already predestined to happen that way. But then he kind of goes back on it and he talks a little bit about, well, what if you make some desirous change, like you have an addiction and you decide, I'm going to give up that addiction. There's something about how you could go back and talk with the spirit team and change something and change the path so you could actually get out of, he's talking about like a wheel of incarnation, but I kind of challenged him on it as a prison planet. He agreed it's not a prison planet. So we have some differences because he doesn't believe that manifestation is a possibility. And at least from my perspective, I disagree because manifestation has been a very large part of my life in many ways. And I could sit here and cite many very detailed examples of what I mean. And maybe it's because I brought it in, knew I was going to have it, and maybe I'm just reliving it because I remember it on some level. Who knows? Like, who knows how it exactly works? But after I listened to this, I had an appointment that I had to go to, and it was an hour drive to where I was going. I was spending 3 hours with somebody, and then I decided to go to a restaurant and pick up a meal. And so I'm on whatever path I'm on. And as I get back on the road to get on the highway, I'm again stopped at a stoplight, and there's a license plate in front of me. I can't make this stuff up. The license plate was MNFST1. To me, that is manifest 1,000,000%. And I feel that it was my spirit team letting me know that whatever I was taking in, what was resonating with me, you know how I say, take in what resonates, leave behind what doesn't. My spirit team was just confirming that I am on my path with the manifestation the way that I see it. It doesn't mean it's true for everybody, but is what feels true for me. So the caveat and the lesson in all of this is that you already have the answers within, and it's great to listen to other people. Like you're here on the live tonight, you're asking questions, but always take in what resonates and leave behind what does not. That's really the biggest rule. And the way that you judge that, the barometer that you use to decide what resonates with you, is that gut feeling, like that heart feeling. Does it feel real for you in your heart and in your gut? And if it's like an instant yes, then it's probably for you. If you're really having to think about it and you're struggling with something, maybe the concept isn't for you right now. Maybe it never will be. Maybe it will be for you in the future. But that's really where you need to draw your line in the sand of what makes sense for you, because nobody has all of the answers. Okay, so these are my things I wanted to share with you. And now I want to go in the comments, and looks like there's some good things in here. So I'm gonna come in. One reminder for everybody: if you are putting messages in the comments for me and your name is not clear as to what it is, please tell me what your name is so I can not have to address you by your YouTube name. But again, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight and for spending some time with me. I treasure this time, and I'm super blessed to be able to be with you tonight. So, okay. All right. Okay, so Juan says, do you know of anyone that I could connect with in Puerto Rico that knows about the awakening? I don't know anybody who lives in Puerto Rico, but the good news for you, Juan, is that we have this little tool called the internet, which means you can connect with anybody anywhere. So yes, I know that. You know what? Here's what I'll suggest to you. There are groups, there are chapters of IANDS, IANDS, International Association for Near Death Studies, and there are chapters all over the world. I would bet money if you search Puerto Rico, IANDS, INDS, you will find a chapter somewhere near you that you could probably go to their meetings. A lot of times they'll have meetings once a month. Some of them have once a week. It just depends on how active they are. And they'll have people who come and talk about their NDEs or their experiences. And it's a really great way to connect with people if you're looking to make some in-person connection. So that would be my recommendation to you. And if anybody else has other recommendations, please throw them in the comments for Juan. Okay, thank you for asking that. David, hello. Would love to hear more about your OBE and other spiritual experiences that led you to where you are now with everything. I've never heard your whole story. Thank you. Okay, well, we don't have time tonight for me to share my entire story, and I have talked about this a few times. On my YouTube channel, there's a playlist called Interviews featuring Laurie. And I was on Jeff Mara's podcast. I think I may have had 10 of my experiences on the other side at that time. I went on Melissa's Love Covered Life, and I had my big experience on the winter solstice of 2020, and I told her about that. Most recently, I went on Heather Tesch's show and I talked about my experiences there. So I will just say a few short things about it, because I don't want people who are on here and have heard me talk about this many times in my interviews and in person. I don't want to take that much time with it. But what I will tell you is that I have had 24 very, very powerful experiences on the other side with a substance called 5-MeO-DMT. It's the most powerful psychedelic on the planet. People have either healing experiences on this or they have consciousness experiences. And I've been very blessed to have all of mine be consciousness experiences. There are pieces that I do not have human words to explain what we are, but I will give you the gist of what I have understood. And these have built upon each other over an 8-year period. And I've experienced very similar things in the beginning. So I would become my higher self. I'm in a state of being of love. That is what I understand that we are on the other side. We here experience love. So you can love people in your family, your pets, your children, your spouses, chocolate, traveling, all these things that you can love. But on the other side, that's not how it works. We are, you, everybody, we are in a state of being of love. It's very different. And we come here to have these experiences, and we come here to play a game, a complicated game that seems like it doesn't make sense, and it seems very cruel when we have to suffer and we have pain and we have losses. But everything is happening for you and not to you. And you are an immensely powerful being. The power that you are is what you are probably thinking from your human perspective of what you would label an entity like God or source. What God and source is, from my experience of being within that being in an experience and becoming that being in later experiences, the state of that being is a love that is unlike anything you could imagine, unlike anything that you have experienced here on earth. Its state of being is eternity. It's not a time constraint, it's a state of being. It's this ever present moment that goes in every direction and never ends, but it's one singular moment. And the joy and the knowledge, and I don't mean knowledge like book smarts, the knowledge of that being is beyond our understanding in the human mind. And when I'm there and I come back, I can't hold on to it. I can't hold on to it at all because the power is beyond anything that we're just capable of holding. I think the brain is a receiver. So when you have these experiences like I have, I think that you somehow supersede the brain and you become consciousness again. You become what you are. That's why people call it home in NDEs. That's why people say it's more real than this. Like, it's infinitely more real than this. It is so much like the explanation of The Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy lands and she's in Technicolor and before she was in black and white. Or you have a dream and it has kind of a fuzziness and it fades, where here this seems much more real than our dreams do for most people. I know some people do have very vivid dreams, but the other side is so much more real. But you are this loving, beautiful, powerful being. And really, you think that you're you looking out through your eyes, but you're really a collective. But then going further than that, you are just one source. And that's what you are. You're this magnificent soul that could never be harmed, that is really not you. You're having an experience here. And you won't really fully understand all of it until you go back to the other side. And I know it feels like you're here for 50, 70, 80, 100 years. But from the perspective of the other side, you're here for a blink. It's such a short amount of time. Time is so different there. It's stacked this way, not this way. So if you want to check out more of them, go listen to some of those interviews because I talk a lot more about that. But thank you for asking. They are super sacred to me, and I wish that I had better words to describe what they are. Catherine says, hello, everybody. Oh, thank you. I know I love the message from Mark too. And I said it before when my microphone wasn't working. The movie that I was seeing on Monday was Michael Jackson. It was so good, you guys. Oh my gosh. Jafar, his nephew, plays him, sings himself, and dances and does all of, spent 2.5 years studying his uncle to be able to play this role. Go see it in the big screen. Don't wait for it to come on your TV. I mean, like, it took me back to the MTV days. I don't know how many of you remember like waiting for Thriller, if you're old enough to wait for Thriller to come out. Like, it was such a big part of my childhood. I think it was in 8th grade. If you were fortunate enough to have cable or a friend who had cable to see MTV, like, it brought you back to all of those things. It was just such a great movie. I really loved it. I highly recommend it if you like Michael Jackson and you like going to movies. Okay. Kelly said, yes, I have heard Jonathan's interview several times. Well, I've actually now listened to every interview that has been put out by him because he talks about different things in different interviews. I don't know, has this happened to you guys as you've been on your spiritual journey? Like, when I was first looking at YouTube and finally NDEs were coming out in a place where I could consume them, I remember listening to Peter Panagor's interview, and then I had to go and find every single interview that he did because he shared different pieces of it. I just wanted more. And so that's why this is part of why I have this channel. One of the things that I try to do differently than all the other interviewers is because of my experiences on the other side, I like to ask really deep rabbit hole questions. I want to go as deep as I can because it's my belief that every single person who's had a near-death experience or a spiritually transformative experience has had not only the wisdom from that experience, but the wisdom that it's taken them over many years to integrate that experience into their life. And because of that, I believe that every person is holding a gold nugget or multiple gold nuggets. And if I can ask the deep enough questions to find those gold nuggets, then I can throw them to you. And you can take that information, extrapolate it, and use it in whatever way makes your life better, more meaningful, gives you more understanding. And that's really the purpose of how I try to conduct my interviews. I always try and ask some question they've never been asked before. I want to dig as deep as I can. So you're going to notice that definitely over time, these interviews and my style has evolved and changed. But lately, I've had some people who have been so extraordinary. I've kept them longer. I've got a couple interviews that are coming out. They're like an hour and 45 minutes. Well, these are long interviews, and I love that they're in video form because it doesn't mean that you have to sit down and consume them in one sitting. You can do them at your own pace. You can skip over. I also do chapters so that if there's part that you already know and don't need to hear again, you can skip over them. So I really do try and give you some content that maybe you will not heard anywhere else. Okay, let's see what else you guys want to talk about. Um, so Catherine saying, hi, David, you should check out my interview. Oh yeah, Heather Tesh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Caught up with the clock in the 11:11 the other night and thought about you. Oh, how sweet is that? I love it. I love it. I love that that happened to you. Kelly said, yes, I've heard Jonathan's interviewed several times now. Hello, Michael. Catherine says, I think I have yet to hear Jonathan's story, but now I'm going to check it out on Heather's channel and join his list. Thank you for the tip. Always. Listen, I love it when I get to interview somebody, but if I really find somebody good, you're going to hear me share it here because I want to share. I mean, this is all about our awakening, and every time we consume something, it changes us, it helps us in some way, it gives us a different viewpoint, a different understanding. Like, it's all about all of us. There is no lack as far as I'm concerned. There's no competition as far as I'm concerned. I will promote any other channel. I will talk to and help any other content creator. As a matter of fact, I'm part of a content creator group with Heather, and we meet with content creators once a month who are all in the NDE space, and we help each other because that's what this is. We're not like some competitive, oh, I want to interview this person and, I don't want anybody else to, or I don't want to share information or help anybody. Like, what kind of a way is that to live life? Like, if you are a spiritual person and you want to approach everything from your highest state of love, why would you not want to help everybody? So that's just my 2 cents on all that. But I am a super competitive person. I get out of my way in my corporate job. I'm just kidding. I do help there too. Okay, let's see what else. Catherine said, I manifested a complete healing after major surgery on April 14th. Oh my gosh, Catherine, I didn't even know that you had major surgery. I hope everything went well. And I'm glad to hear that you manifested some healing. That's amazing. The placebo effect is real. When I was a pharmaceutical sales rep, one of the first drugs I sold was Zithromax. It is an antibiotic. And it had been around for a long time when I started selling it in like 2009, I think, 2008, something around there. Maybe it was '05. Actually, it was '05. But it had been out for a long time. And when you looked at the clinical studies, it would show that in a clinical trial, the active drug had to overcome by statistical significance what the placebo did. And that's why they do these randomized, multi-center, double-blind studies to see how real things are. But what's crazy is that, let's say that the placebo effect was like 40% when that drug came out. So that whatever the statistical significance of it was overcoming the placebo by a significant amount. Well, as time went on, it was getting harder and harder to do any new studies because the placebo effect started going up. Why? Because it's in the collective now. People know that they can heal themselves. They have a lot of examples. And now that the internet is here, and now that people share these experiences, and people like Joe Dispenza tour and do all of these workshops to help you understand how you can heal yourself, like, it's in the collective now. Like, there's no taking that out. And every drug has a harder time of getting approved because our minds are becoming more and more powerful. We're understanding that we can overcome that. So I love that about you, that you manifested some healing for yourself. And I think that we all have the ability to, in one way or another, to do that. Now, again, the caveat is going to be, if whatever you are trying to overcome with manifestation was part of an experience that you needed to have, had to have, must have, was an integral part of experiences that you came here to experience, you may be beating yourself up thinking you're not powerful enough to overcome something. How come all these other people can? Again, that's why you have to get into this mind state of things are happening for me and not to me, because you may not be manifesting, not because you're not a powerful being, not because you're not a powerful soul, not because you're not good at it, but because there's something about that experience that you need to have because you can't see what's coming for you in the future and what you've been setting yourself up to experience in your life's journey. So, caveat again with the manifestation. Okay, let's see. Kelly says, I was on one of his Zoom talks as well, and he was getting frustrated then too. Oh my gosh, Kelly, I'm so glad that you heard that and saw that. Loved his interviews, but honestly, the Zoom call didn't really resonate with me. Maybe I need to try again. I also agree. I think he was getting really upset with people who kept asking him questions about, what is it called? There's a big book that people study, something with miracles. I can't think of the name of it. You guys are all, you're like, Course in Miracles. That's it. He has not read it. He doesn't like the questions about it, and people keep peppering him. I mean, asking the same things. But he was getting very frustrated, and I was really surprised that he was reacting in a what I felt like as a frustration. But again, I mean, you say things a billion times, and maybe that does become frustrating. But maybe it's time to like do some things in different ways if that's what that's becoming. Everybody's human. Like, look, it doesn't matter how many experiences you had on the other side. I mean, I'm sure even Jesus got frustrated. Didn't he overturn tables in some temple because he was mad? So, look, we all are still human no matter what. It's not like you wave a magic wand, you have these experiences on the other side and you're now superhuman and nothing bothers you. Like you're still living the life here. And it's all by design, right? Okay. Hey, Michael. I think we need to do a part two sometime. Oh, I really only got about halfway of it. I was off my game, LOL. Well, I disagree that you're off your game, but yeah, we could talk about that. You can email me. I manifested my weight loss and wish I knew how I did it still. How cool is that? I love that. You didn't have to go on a medication to do it. That's wonderful. Hi, Diane. Can someone who has not had an ND attend the IONS conference? Hell to the yes. Oh my gosh. The IONS conference is such a magical place to go. Yes, there are many experiencers. People wear badges, so it shows like if they've had an experience. But yes, it's open to anybody who wants to go. It's a wonderful place if you're in your awakening, you're on your journey, and you want to connect with like-minded people. You will find them in spades. You will have some of the best conversations. If you're lucky enough, you'll go to dinner with people and you'll just like maybe go off one-on-one and have a conversation. They have these rooms where you can go and sit in a room, and there's usually one or two moderators who are near-death experiencers who are volunteers with IONS, and people will share their NDE sometimes for the very first time. I love sitting in those rooms. I've had a couple people who I've met in those rooms who have come on the show. So yes, go to IONS if you feel drawn to it. It moves around the country every year. This year it's always Labor Day weekend. So it will run like a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. And then people travel on the days before or after. You can stay for the whole time. You can buy tickets. And IONS did just make their announcements on who is going to be there and who the main speakers are. I can only remember one person. I can't remember everybody else. Alex from Next Level Soul is going to be a keynote speaker, and he's going to be there. And it's so funny. I felt like he was going to go last year to the one in Chicago, and he wasn't there, but I'm not surprised that he's going to go and talk. So it'll be interesting, I'm sure, to hear him talk. But you can go to all of it. You can go to part of it. And I don't know, you might be able to pay a fee and be able to watch the replays, but you might also have had to buy a ticket to get access to them. I can't remember, but go onto ION's website and you can get all the details. But it's in Seattle, Washington this year, the weekend of Labor Day. So that I highly recommend it. I've been to two of them and they're great. I am not going to the one this year. I can't do it just based on some commitments that I have at my cabin over the summer. But I will probably go to the one in 2027. So we'll see. Okay. Juan said, I did search ions and there's nothing in Puerto Rico. Oh, I'm so sorry. There is in Hawaii, but nothing here. I know that I learned a lot on the internet, but nothing in person. Let me give that a little bit of thought. You know what? Actually, I know where you can connect. So there is an NDE group on Facebook. One, if you're on Facebook, go to the NDE group that is run by Ned, sorry, Ned. Ned was on my show. I interviewed him. He started what is now the largest NDE group on Facebook. And you can probably put a message on there, and I guarantee somebody is going to be from your area that you can connect with in person. Maybe this is your calling. Maybe this is your opportunity to start a spiritual group in Puerto Rico. You could also reach out to spiritual bookstores, and sometimes they'll have gatherings. Like I know Jonathan Ashford is in Idaho, and he got together with a whole bunch of spiritual people because he went to a spiritual bookstore that he was led to go to, which I thought was really cool. So maybe that will help you. And if you guys have other ideas for Juan, please put them in the comments. Okay, let's see what else. What else do you want to talk about? Kelly, what do you think? Okay. Kelly, you guys are talking to each other too. Sorry, sometimes these comments jump around when I'm scrolling. Much music TV here in Canada. Diane says, how have your experience on the other side changed you? Okay, so for me personally, one of the things that really, really changed is when you have an experience, now it's not like you wonder or have faith about something. I feel like I've had concrete experiences that nobody can take away, nobody can make me doubt, nobody can push me off of what I've come to understand on the other side with my very specific experiences. So it gives me the confidence to have some of these conversations and to ask questions that I probably wouldn't ask otherwise. If I hadn't have had those experiences, this show would not exist and I would not be here with you right now. It wouldn't have happened. The whole way the channel started was because I had an experience on the winter solstice of 2020 where I was engulfed within source, and I was reminded that it was time to begin doing what I promised to do here on this earth. And the next day I got a download and I wrote it down, and it was an outline for these chapters, like 12 chapters. And I ultimately created 63 videos called Uncover Your Soul's Purpose. If you haven't heard of this video series, it's in a playlist called Start Here, Uncover Your Soul's Purpose. What you need to know about spirituality is in these little bite-sized videos. Some of them are 10 minutes long, some of them are slightly longer, but I talk about different spiritual tenets that will help you change your perspective. It was really to help people to understand how powerful they were as a soul. And so there's my alarm, because I do try and also be cognizant of your time here, and I try and keep these to about an hour. But since we got started a little bit later because of my mic issues, I'll stay on a little bit longer. It's made me very different in the sense that I really and truly know without a doubt that everything in my life is happening for me and not to me. And that one changes how you respond to everything. So that's probably the biggest thing that has changed me. And also just understanding little pieces of the game that I wasn't aware of before, like that this is a game, and that the biggest perfect purpose that we're here is to experience love and to show up in love. and that we're supposed to wake up and remember that we are veiled and we came here to have this experience. I think it is the ultimate goal of what we're doing here is to wake up. And that's why I have a channel where call this Wake Up Wednesday, and I'm trying to help people to understand how powerful and beautiful you are as a soul. So that's probably I mean, I probably could go on for hours about how this changed me, but that's probably the best examples of how it's changed me. Thank you so much for asking that question. That's a great question. Okay, let's see. What else do you want to talk about? Tammy said, I had the world's shortest NDE 10 years ago. I know there's something else to remember. Any suggestions for finding those memories? Thank you. Yes. It's very interesting. Jonathan actually was talking about this on his live on Sunday, how on average it takes people 7 years or more to remember bits and pieces from their near-death experience. I think that if you haven't remembered very much, it's by design because there are probably parts of that that if you either knew it earlier would not have helped you, may have hindered what you're here to experience. But I do know that people have had some success doing regression therapy, so hypnotic therapy. You can go to a past life regressionist. I've interviewed several on the show who I think are fantastic. And the latest one that I interviewed is, I think it's Nancy. I have to go look. I'm really sorry. I'm having a hard time sometimes remembering all of the names of the guests. I am up to like 400 people I've interviewed. I can picture this person's face. I know who her brother is, Vincent Blackmore, and I cannot think of her first name, but it might be Nancy. I'm so sorry, you guys. Usually I'm pretty good with these names, but I really, really loved her past life regression and her style and how she did it. But I've talked to several that I've really loved. So if you do a search on my channel for past life regression, it'll probably come up because I'm sure that they were labeled that way in the title, and that's the searchability on YouTube for that. But you can find some really, really great guests who do this. And you don't have to go and do it in person. You can do it remotely. When I did a past life regression in 2008, it was an incredible experience. And my biggest worry was that I was going to fall asleep during it. And I got a lot of extra sleep leading up to it just to make sure I didn't. But they put you into a deep, 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 relaxed hypnosis state. But you kind of have an awareness and you can remember some of what you're talking about. And I remember crying, like physically feeling the tears rolling down my cheeks as I was having this experience and this memory. And then years later I got some confirmations and very specific confirmations, which I do talk about in my past life video on Uncover Your Soul's Purpose, in those series of videos. And I talk about the synchronicity I got around it so that I knew for sure it was really real for me. And I wasn't anybody famous. I wasn't anybody with any notoriety at all. I was just a super, super simple girl having an experience in what I thought was Ireland, but later found out was in Iceland, which probably was why I've been obsessed with Northern Lights my whole life and just got to see them this year. So yeah, that's what I would suggest for you, Kelly. Or Tammy, go and see if you can find a past life regressionist. Okay, let's see what else here. Sorry, again, the comments jumped on me and I'm not where I needed to be or where I was before. Okay, Kelly said you enjoyed Jonathan's blog. Okay. So Kelly says technical and a bit of hard read, but Joe Dispenza's book, You Are the Placebo, is fascinating. I didn't even know he had a book called You Are the Placebo. I do, and I love that. That's wonderful. I remember finding Joe Dispenza, oh my gosh, so many years ago, like maybe 2013, something like that, a long time ago. He's amazing. Love him. Love him so much. Let's see. Okay. Thank you. I don't know what your real name is, but this is dope. That's an awesome compliment. I will take it and I appreciate it. Thank you. Catherine said, seriously, I feel that these Wake Up Wednesdays all contributed to my manifestation. And I had to surrender that God might not have that plan for me. I feel like a brand new person. Oh, I'm so happy for you with that. Well, that's amazing. I'm so glad that these help in any way. Oh, Tammy said you were on the Zoom call too. Wow, this is crazy. um, oh, I'm so glad that you guys look forward to these Zooms. This is amazing. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Yes, I will. I am going to be working on the community. I am really super serious about doing that this summer. I've started building my repository now, and I'm really working hard on some things. Let's see. You had your spiritual awakening when reading the Course of Miracles. Oh, how interesting! Absolutely had a miracle, and my life dramatically changed at that time about 15 years ago. Now, that's great. I love that. I know a lot of people have had really great experiences with that. Catherine said, "You probably know a little more than me. I missed a few weeks, and I'm sure it came up." Didn't Jonathan say he lost his ego? I know he did say that, but I don't think it's possible for anybody to lose their ego. I'm sorry. I totally disagree. I don't think you can have a human experience and be in a human brain and not have an ego. I think even on some level, Jesus probably as evolved as he was, had an ego. Like, I don't think you can do this life without that. Whatever. Somebody can say whatever, believe whatever, but I don't know that I believe that. Tammy said, I watched your interview with Stephanie. Yeah, it was. It was like probably interview number 3. It was great. And then I watched all of her interviews I could find on YouTube. She's so special. Oh, she's not here tonight. She hasn't been feeling very well. She's been having some blood pressure issues. I don't know if you know this, but my sister was a juvenile diabetic and her kidneys started to fail. And she was very blessed. Like over 10 years ago, she got a kidney and pancreas transplant. But she's had a lot of medical issues, and what a trooper she is, because she does still reach out and do the help me with getting my guests on this show. My show would be nothing without my sister, because I'd probably use my human whatever filter of reaching out to people or not reaching out to other people, and she uses her intuition, which just gives me guest after amazing guest after amazing guest. I feel so blessed. I really feel like we partnered together to help each other through this lifetime. And I just love my sister. I can't say enough good things about her. So thank you for the shout out to her. I'll let her know. That'll make her feel better. And by the way, she rewatches this. If she wasn't on live, she'll rewatch it tomorrow. Diana says, thank you so much for the great answer. Oh, and how it changed me. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for asking it. Hello, Melody. Let's see who else is on here. So grateful. Hold on a second. It jumped. So grateful that you are fulfilling your soul contract with this channel. I really think I am. And it gives us all listeners an opportunity to grow and meet another like-minded people. I love that too. Melody says, I've actually have done past life readings for people. I have not had an overly large number of opportunities to do it, but I was taught how by spirit a few years ago. How wonderful. Oh, that's really cool. I wonder how you do it. Do you regress them or do it a different way? Or does your intuition kind of kick in and maybe share details about what you see? I'm curious about that. Thank you for sending love, M-CO. This is why I need your names, you guys. Okay, Diane says, if he didn't have an ego, he would not have gotten frustrated. Yes, exactly. I will give Stephanie love. Greetings from the south of Brazil. Oh, thank you for joining us from Brazil. Listen, I better tell you guys this. I'm going to apologize in advance. I will not be doing the live next Wednesday because I am super blessed to be going for the very first time to Costa Rica. I have a super good guy friend and his fiance. He had a 50th birthday and he is in love with sloths and he wants to see sloths in the wild. This trip has been planned for a year and it's finally coming for me on Saturday. I'm flying to Costa Rica and I'm going to be in rainforest. It's supposed to rain every single day, happening for me and not to me, right? But I'm going to be doing some suspension bridges, waterfalls, thermal pools with a river that comes down from a volcano. I am super blessed because his fiance does these really amazing excursions. She usually does them in Africa, but she does all these different wildlife excursions because she's a professional photographer, and her photography has been on different magazine covers like Forbes magazine, Time magazine. She's been all over the place, and she's incredible. She had a near-death experience also. With an incident with a rhinoceros when she was in Africa, and she may come on. I'm really going to work on her. I want her to come on and tell this incredible near death experience that she had. But anyway, that's who I'm going to be with next week. And because of the location, and it's not my time, I'm on other people's time. I'm along for the birthday ride. I will not be able to do the live, unfortunately. So I super apologize to you guys in advance. I know you look forward to them, as do I, but I will resume the following week. So I think it's I don't even know the date. What is next Wednesday? I'm gonna have to look. Hold on. I don't know if it's the 5th. What is it? The 6th. So Monday the 6th, I will not be on. I will post something in the posts on the YouTube channel, but apologies that I will not be on the live next week. Okay, going back to the comments for a couple more minutes. Tammy said, thank you for time. Have a great night. Thank you, Tammy, for joining. Love and light to Stephanie. Hope she feels better. Oh, you're Mark. Oh, MK. Okay, got it. Thank you. Melody says, I go into them through them spiritually and I see beyond their present lifetime. I know it sounds weird. No, it doesn't, not here. But that's just how it works. I love that. Thank you so much. See, look, Catherine already said it's not weird. Melody said, when I was learning, it was I was so utterly blown away. I bet you were. I have had many spiritual experiences, but nothing quite as real as that. Mr. Begg says, who doesn't love a sloth? I know. Seriously, like we're going to be able to see them right out of our Airbnb. And also, I was just told today that the fiance of my friend has a really good friend who's joining us for 2 days. She is one of the world's leading experts on sloths. I guess she's kind of famous in this area. I don't know her, but she's going to be on this trip too. So I mean, I feel super blessed, you guys. I'm really I know how lucky I am. So blessings to all the creatures, plants, rocks of the world, especially our poor beasts of burden. Catherine said, I hope you have the most special time in Costa Rica. Thank you. Kelly said, have fun. Watch out for them. I was thinking you were going to say, watch out for the snakes. Watch out the monkeys because they steal stuff. Yes, I've heard that. You're going to have an amazing time. Sloths are so cute. Yes. You guys, I feel so energetic after I get done with one of these lives. Like I feel like I could go out and run 10 miles after being with you. I feel your energy. I feel your hype. I feel your excitement. It fuels me. It makes me so excited to come on here and share some time with you. I love you all. Thank you. So I might want to cry now. Thank you so much for what you do to support this channel, to support me, to support all the guests. Thank you for all of the beautiful comments. So many of you I see in the comments week after week, video after video. Like, I'm so grateful. I don't always answer the comments super quickly because there's so many now, but I try to read every comment. Some of them are really long and I can't answer them, but I am so grateful for those of you who are on this path and who help one another in the comments by answering people's questions. Like I could not feel more blessed. So thank you guys for being here. Please do not forget, this channel is absolutely nothing without all of you, and that you are powerful, beautiful, magnificent souls of love, and you are here to experience every beautiful thing and enjoy your life and just take it by the horns and get everything out of it that you can. And I'm just really happy to be here with you. So thank you. I'm going to sign off now. Thank you everybody for watching. Good night.